The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews, so join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. I am Xander. I've also got John here to go through the latest Celtic news, international stuff, gossip, rumours, everything else in between. We'll go through a lot of it. Not much happening, to be honest with you, but let's say hello to John first. How are you, John, in this very quiet time for Celtic just now? Nothing really much happening, bits and bobs of news, nothing really that we didn't know already, but it's very boring, isn't it, John? I know it's still a good 7 days, 8 days possibly to Celtic's next game against, I think it is a Dundee. How are you anyway, buddy?
All right. I'm all right, aye. Watched the Scotland game last night. That was all right and quite enjoyed that. Terrible first half. Really good second half, end-to-end kind of game. But I really enjoyed that last night. Well done, Scotland. That was a wee surprise. I mean, big, would you call him, Dykes beat me for my predictor and all. I took 2-1 for Scotland.
Yeah, many times does that happen when we do this predictor, John. It happens in just about every game. There's always a goal that beats you in there. So, yeah, that's the fun of it. Sometimes you get to hold on. Sometimes you lose it in the last minute. But we'll get through a predictor a wee bit later, John. There is still 1 or 2 games to go in the midweek predictor, and then we'll do a separate weekend predictor. And that just brings us on nicely to the competition, actually, the 25-player league on the left-hand side there. The game is tonight, John. It's East Fife versus Celtic B tonight. So get your guesses in for that, folks, if you're not done so already. And a quick apology to Collins. I put on the league table there, John, as you can plainly see. He's only got 3 points, but he's actually got the 6 points. So everybody's taking this league table very seriously, and you can understand why, because it's competition for a reason, John. You know, people want to finish top. So thank you, Collins, and apologies for putting you in there with only the 3 points. But it's very difficult, and if you see you've only got 3, John, and you've actually got 6, I'd be quick to mention it as well.
I'll keep an eye on my score from now on.
I think what happened, actually, I don't want to bore everybody, but I think what happened was I was adding the Mad Scotsman's extra 3 points and I accidentally deleted Collins' 3. So I would have spotted it eventually, but you know, you try to do these things in a hurry, ain't you? Right, John, let's get into the Celtic news. Good luck, everybody, by the way, with the competition. 1 guess each for the fantastic prize at the end of the season if you're top. Right, John, Celtic news. Celtic and Rangers have both been deducted 500 tickets for the League Cup semi-final because of pyrotechnics set off at Hampden in March for both Celtic and Rangers in separate games. I might add Celtic's was against Aberdeen in the semi-final. Don't know who Rangers was against. They do it every game anyway, but both Celtic and Rangers have been had a reduction in ticket allocation, John, of 500. And there's a further 800 tickets suspended, John, if it happens again before March 2027. So I think that's the end of that, John. I don't think we'll be seeing any more pyrotechnics at Hampden, hopefully.
Look, I don't mind the pyrotechnics, but when it's at Hampden, Hampden's like it's like playing in a closed stadium, because when you let the flares off, because the gap, you know, the roof in Hampden, there isn't much space to let the smoke out, so it kind of traps in the stadium, and the smoke takes a long time to lift. But and it delays the game, as we know. So for that reason alone, it's a good thing. But I don't mind when I say I don't mind pyrotechnics, I don't mind just the kind of smoke bomb things.
Yeah.
But the flares, they're dangerous, and they've got to be banned everywhere in the world. We've seen what's happened in stadiums, Hillsborough and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was at Bradford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen things like that happening, and we don't need anything that could cause danger in a stadium, the fire and all that. So I ban them all across the planet, I would say. Good move.
Yeah, that's it, John. And I think we have seen the last of it, because there'll be a further 800 if any of the clubs do it again, John. They set off these pyrotechnics again. So 21,000 tickets each for the semi-final instead of the 21,500 that we normally get when we play Rangers. Right, John, that's that. We've covered that. Let's move on to Daizen Maeda. He's picked up an injury, unfortunately, for Japan. He didn't actually play the game, John. He must have picked it up in training. It's a foot injury, but we're hoping it's just precaution, and he will be okay for the trip to Dens next weekend, John. So this is exactly what we didn't want happening with the players going away, but this is the risk, I suppose. Players want to play for their international countries. There's always a risk of injury. Daizen Maeda, foot injury, John. We're hoping this isn't a serious one.
Of course. We'll wait and see what happens with Daizen. Hope it's just a wee knock and he gets over it in the next few days, because obviously a key player for Celtic, you don't want to lose your key players. So good luck to Daizen, and he's hope it's a short recovery.
Yeah, for what I'm reading, I think it is precaution, John. He missed out today's game. We'll go through that later, results, etc. and the predictor, but he missed out today's game, and he looks as though he's going to miss out the second game as well, John. So it's, in a way, it's sort of a good news. You know, he's not going to pick up any serious injury if what I'm reading is true about the foot injury just being precaution, and just take a few days to heal up. So it's good news if he's not going to be playing 2 90-minute games, I suppose, John. So hopefully it is just a minor, very minor injury for Daizen Maeda. Okay, John, let's move on. Okay, we've recruited a new head of football operations, John. I didn't know we were looking for a new head of football operations, but we have signed Paul Tisdale, John, the former Milton Keynes Dons manager. He's now up here. I didn't even know, John, we were looking for a new head of football operations, so it just goes to show how secretive the board really is.
Aye. It's a new head of signing players operations we need at Celtic.
Aye. Yeah, it's a new head of giving the key to the bank account operations we need, John, to be honest with you. The millions and millions of pounds still locked up in the Celtic Park vault. Because, you know, the total lack of funds released in the summer was, when you think about it, John, it's really, really quite sickening. You've got all that money lying there. We did spend a few million, but nothing like the level we're expecting. All sorts of players get linked to Celtic, 6, 7, 8, 9 million pound plus. And we get a couple of 3.4 or 4.4 million pound players, John, just no good enough. Yeah, so we need to get the funds released. And looking at the minutes of the meeting held on Monday night from the fans group and the board, John, it looks as though that's not going to happen in January either.
Don't know. Well, we just don't know what's going to happen between now and January. There's a long way to go, Xander. Still another 3 months till that occasion arrives. So we'll wait. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Things can change quickly, as we know. So we can just keep an eye on it. But as things stand right now, no, it's not looking good. But things can change. Got to stay positive, you know.
Yeah, stay positive, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Another couple of loan signings in January, that's what I can see. Anyway, John, good luck to Paul Tisdale. Anyway.
I noticed you just batted that positivity right out the stadium straight away.
Yeah, yeah, of course. No wonder, John. But just say, anything can happen. We might get 20, 25, 30 million to spend in January. Can't see it myself. Right, John. Balakwisha says he's ready. The big man's ready. He says it was a... He says he's dying to show what he can do now. He says it was a very difficult settling in period at Celtic. Very difficult. Very intense training at Celtic. He wasn't used to it. Try to settle into a new club, all that kind of stuff. But he said the most difficult thing was the high level of intense training at Celtic, giving away a few secrets there. Big Mikel Ange, John, giving away the secrets. But he says he's ready, John, and he's desperate to show what he can do. So that's good news, I suppose. Says there's always got a wee bit of his confidence back.
Aye, well, some players don't hit the ground running. Some players take a bit of time. I'm trying to think of players similar to that. Probably Nicholas Kuhn. Didn't have a great start to his Celtic career.
Yeah.
And suddenly just burst into life. Like, where did we get him from? Where did he come from?
Yeah.
But so Balakwisha might be another one of these guys. I really don't know, but apparently his best position's through the middle, no on the flanks.
Yeah, give it a go. There's nothing to lose. You're 3-0 up, put him up there, see what you can do. Because we need as many centre forward stroke strikers, stroke attackers as we possibly can, John. But yeah, if that's the case, wait for 2 or 3-0 up in that game and put him up there, see what he can do if that's the case. But no, the big man sounds a wee bit more confident, and that can only be good news for us. So we're looking forward to seeing you against Dundee.
Well, I think it was centre of the park he was talking about when he says through the middle. I'm not sure, because his old manager said that, his best position is through the middle. What he meant by that, I don't know. It could be through the centre of the park. Callum McGregor role, maybe. I don't see him as that type of player. Maybe, I don't know, in the Nigerian position, something like that. I really don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah, if he's a forward goal-scoring winger, John, I think it would be through the middle as in a striker, to be honest with you. As you say, he doesn't look as though he would be a central midfielder in any of the positions, to be honest with you. No wee style of play. But anyway, we'll wait and see, John. We'll wait and see what he was talking about, because I think the manager, the Celtic manager that is, he's going to play him on the left wing, isn't he? Tried him over on the right, no good. So I think his favoured position for the manager is left wing. But as you say, John, we'll wait and see. We can only speculate at this time. John, this one was quite funny, I thought. Big Kasper Schmeichel against Belarus. Games that are being played in neutral venues just now because of the war in Russia and Ukraine, and Belarus are fighting alongside Russia. So the games are all played in a neutral venue. But Big Kasper Schmeichel, John, noticed, I know this is just typical, isn't it? Noticed that the goals were too high. He noticed that the goal posts and the bar was too high, John, so they've put it up a wee bit. I mean, I've never heard anything like this before, John, to be honest with you. Big Kasper Schmeichel going out to the referee with a minute. The goals are about 3 or 4 inches higher than what they should be. Also, the goalkeeper can tell that right away, because he can outstretch his hands and he knows exactly where his fingers should be near the bar. So he's pointed that out, and yet, sure enough, they've got the tape measure out, John. And the goals were too high, so the goals had to be adjusted. John, have you ever heard of anything like that? That was Denmark against Belarus against Denmark on Thursday night.
No, I've never heard of that before. I'm sure it has happened before, but I've never heard of it. But I did see something about it. I never read it. It doesn't really interest me reading about stuff like that. But I'll leave it up to you to read on with stuff like that. But that's bad, isn't it? If it comes to that level of cheating. I take it the game went ahead because they won 6-0 or something, didn't they?
I'm not sure, John. I just read the news about that. I mean, a wee bit of Buster Keaton going on there, possibly. Who knows, John? Who knows?
Maybe the post just won the firmly in the ground enough,
Yeah, definitely. Right, okay. Right,
I don't know.
Man City have no plans to recall Simpson Puzzi in January, John. So he's going to be here for the year. So unless Brendan has got plans for the big centre back, John, and I can't see it myself because he's not even been on the bench. He's not even been in training, actually, never mind on the bench. It's just a total waste of money, this one, John. I don't know if we can terminate that contract, that loan contract, or not. I don't know if the manager's going to play him eventually. I just don't know. But Man City have come out and said they have no plans whatsoever to call back Simpson Puzzi in January.
There you go then. I don't know what else I can say, but we spoke about him the other day there. If he's not even in training or on the bench or whatever, you've got to try and terminate his contract. There's no point in having him there. I'm sure Celtic are paying a chunk of his wages, so it's just costing Celtic money for nothing yet again.
Yeah, money for nothing and your checks for free for Big Puzzi. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens with him. I'd like to see him in a game. You know, get him into a game. So let's see what he can do. Obviously, the manager can see what he's like if he ever turns up at training. You know, but we're not even getting the chance unless the boy's got an injury or something that we don't know about, John. I don't know, but it's just a mystery, a total mystery, that one to me. Give them a chance. Let's see what they can do. At least, you know, give them a wee run out in the B team. You know, something like that. You know, just anyway.
Aye, well, that's planning to give him a run out in the B team at least. Try him. You like Dire Straits, by the way? Money for nothing and your checks for free. You like them?
I think Dire Straits are brilliant. I think they're. Yeah, I think they're good. Dire Straits, decent band. Of course they are, John. Yeah.
Never liked them, Xander. Never liked them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm a follower of them or anything like that. They just do some decent stuff. I mean, unless you like today's stuff better, then yeah.
Oh no! I don't like today's stuff. I don't like any of that. I mean, I couldn't tell you what's happening in music today because I don't listen to it. But you hear it on, like, you know, adverts and stuff like that. It just turn the sound down. I can't listen to that. It's a dagger to the heart, that kind of stuff, that modern music. I just cannot stomach it at all. And that's not because I'm older. It's nothing to do with that. I've liked music right up until probably the mid-2000s, something, 2005 up to about then it became unbearable. But I'd listen to Dire Straits all day before I listen to anything modern.
So you don't like Dire Straits? You're more of a Quo man then, John?
No, well, I'll tell you what, I do. I got to admit, I mean, it's straightforward rock and roll into the status quo, but I wasn't a big fan of them either. But I like some status quo stuff. I think they've got character, isn't they? Status quo.
Yeah, the reason why I mentioned them is because we'll get back on track in a wee minute, folks. But the reason why I mentioned them is that I've always joined the two bands together, if you know what I mean. Sort of no similar, but sort of a same age, same time group, all that kind of stuff, same time in history into it. Both of them were in the charts at the same time, blah blah blah. I always put the two bands together. Anyway, John, let's get back.
Well, actually, Status Quo were out in the 60s, Xander. A song called Matchstick Men, I think, was their big song in the 60s, something like that. Matchstick Men. I don't think it's that song. And the painted matchstick men and matchstick cats and dogs. Da 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 da. It wasn't. It wasn't that. It was another Matchstick Men song. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I just remember hearing them at the exact same time in the charts. Anyway, all right. The hysteria is building over at Ibrox, John. And by the way, we can talk about this because this could be the potential manager we're going to be up against. So feel free to talk about it. The hysteria is building at Ibrox, but not only at Ibrox, John. It's building in Sky Sports, in the BBC, on Clyde One, in the Daily Record, in the Scottish Sun, and the Independent. The hysteria is building rapidly for the one and only Slippy G, John. It looks as though he is the new Rangers man to take over. He is going to be the man in charge. Unbelievable the reaction I've saw to this. You know, I'm going to run through some stats, mate, Slippy G, John, right? Just to remind some people the record that he's got. Not just at Rangers, not just at Aston Villa, not just at the club over in Saudi Arabia, John. His overall record, right? Let's have a wee look at this. You know, they're getting excited about this, John, right? You've got to remember this. By the way, they're holding more talks today, so he could be announced later on Friday night, possibly Monday, if the talks go well. And they've also, on their books, they're talking to Danny Rowe as well, John. Rowe, many a joke's going to be said about that, but Danny Rowe, he's also a candidate. But it's looking like it's Slippy G, John. Okay, let's have a wee look at his record. Al Ettifaq was the last job he had. He was sacked in 2024 from them, so sacked there, or dismissed, or mutual consent. Then before that, he was sacked at Aston Villa for doing a dreadful job at Aston Villa. I'm not going to go through any of the results. They were pretty bad. And before Aston Villa, you left Rangers to go there, obviously, was at Rangers. And let's at some of these results, John, you had at Rangers, just off the top of my head here. 1-0 loss to Livingston. 1-0 loss to Aberdeen. 2-1 loss to Kilmarnock. Another loss to Aberdeen. Excuse me. 2-0 loss at Ibrox to Aberdeen as well. So that was 3 losses in a short space of time to Aberdeen. 2-1 loss to St Mirren. 2-1 loss to Hearts. Out of the cup to Hearts. Out of the cup to St Johnstone. And various low team draws, John, to teams like Hamilton Accies and Raith Rovers. Various different teams like that, John, draws when they should be winning the games. So a very, very, very poor record for Slippy G, John, sorry. And that was over 3 seasons was at Rangers as well. You've got to remember 3 years, 1 trophy, and you've got the press. You know, I've never seen a reaction like this to a manager coming to Scotland in my life. But he's the saviour by the looks of things, John.
Well, it's all about the COVID Cup, isn't it? That's what it's all about. We spoke about that in length the other night there. It's the COVID Cup was no great success for any team, to be honest with you. Claiming that is a remarkable achievement. What's all that noise there?
Sorry, John, I can't hear a noise.
I just said a lot of banging noises there. It's no achievement winning the COVID Cup. It is no achievement whatsoever. And they're bringing him back because of that. That's the only reason they're bringing him back, because they had an element of success and then they left him in the dark and their fans turned on him. We don't want him any better. No, come anywhere near Glasgow again. We'll do this and we'll do that if he comes back to Glasgow. Right, he's coming back. What he's going to do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I remember that, John, actually, because you left to go to Aston Villa, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that, actually, well remembered. But no, it's that's the man, John. Listen, well, that's the man. A terrible, a terrible record in Europe as well, John, with 17 draws in all the games he played in Europe against minnows, most of them. I obviously had a couple of decent results, you know, in Europe, but 17 draws, 10 losses, you know, an absolutely dreadful record, John.
It just shows you, Xander, how deluded these press guys are, or Rangers fans anyway. But it shows you how deluded they are. They actually think he was a success, and no taking into account in that season, St Johnstone went on to win 2 cups. They've won more trophies than Rangers.
Yeah,
no, I mean St Johnstone.
That's it, John, and it's quite funny, you know. We're used to this reaction from the press when anything new is going to happen over at Rangers. We're used to it, but this one takes the biscuit. You know, as the saviour. You know, this is, you know, the headlines have been quite funny actually, John, and he's not even signed for Rangers yet. So you can imagine what's going to be said when he does eventually sign, John. And as I say, you've got to bear in mind, he done nothing here apart from win a closed stadium competition, John. So that's who we're going to be up against anyway, John. Brendan Rodgers, I'm sure he'll be shaking in his boots.
Look, I'd imagine that Slippy has had a look at Celtic and seen that there's a wee bit of an issue at Celtic right now, and again, that's the reason why he's decided I could challenge here for this trophy, because Celtic look like they're in trouble, but it's up to Celtic to iron this wee problem out right now and put them back in their box again, because they're getting overexcited about absolutely nothing. Just look at that season. They won the COVID Cup. Celtic were in free fall. Going into that season, Brendan had left. Lennon had took over. The team were in free fall. COVID. Celtic players were all dropping down with COVID. Look at the situation. No fans in the stadiums. Every team had multiple players missing. And they had no players missing from COVID. And went on to win basically what you could call the Bounce Match Cup. That's all it was. It was a Bounce Match Cup. And if that's their idea of success, then they're in trouble, because they ain't going to get it that easy again. Trust me.
Yeah. And no investigation into why none of the players were out with COVID, John. Because you got to remember at the time, if one player had it, they all had to withdraw from the squad due to the COVID rules, and it never ever happened. And when they won the league, eventually, John, they won that league, the pathetic season that and they copied Celtic and went to Glasgow Cross, John, and broke every COVID rule going, with tens of thousands going down there, and made the COVID situation 100 times worse in Glasgow. So that was just a terrible time, John. It really was, and they took full advantage of that. Anyway, John, so we'll wait and see over the weekend if he is indeed the new manager. We might have said all that, John, and then they go with the other guys. So you just never know, John. Who was the other guy? Just had to go. Danny Rowe. I have heard of this guy actually, John. Danny Rowe. He's also a potential candidate. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Right, John, let's get to this predictor. Let's get to that. The midweek predictor, we'll quickly run through that. Just a short one today, folks. A wee half-hour one today, just over half an hour. Okay, earlier on today, it was Japan 2, Paraguay 2. Obviously, none of our boys played in that one. So, 2 each draw against Paraguay. None of us got that right, John. England 3, Wales 0. None of us got that right either. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. Take a wee drink. Scotland 12, Gibraltar 0. John, that was some result. You know, have a wee bit of sympathy, for goodness sake. But what a result. 12-0 for Scotland. Donovan played in that one, John, with a couple of assists. Some result that. 12-0.
I think I picked 3-0. You picked 5-0. I don't know anything about Gibraltar, to be honest with you. Did they make the goals bigger or something? I really keep an eye on that one for you, No, I mean, double figures, way past double figures in that one. Gibraltar must be in a bad way if Scotland can put 12 past them. They're all down to the young Scots anyway. And then the first team, Scotland 3, Greece 1. A wee quick 5 minutes on that, John. But you said you watched the game. I didn't watch it. I mean, from what I heard on the radio, when I put the radio on at full time, it sounded as though that we got out of jail in that one, John. It sounded as though we actually should have drawn the game, with Angus Gunn pulling off a save to make it a possible 2-each, and Scotland break up the park with a goalkeeper blunder, and Dykes scores the goal that seals the win for 3-1 to Scotland. But was it like that, John? Was it a get out of jail case here? I think it was, aye. It was some save from Angus Gunn, by the way. That was headed right for the top corner from the angle, and he tips it right over the bar. What a save that was. They take the corner and Scotland break up the park and beat my predictor, that big idiot Lyndon Dykes. They got to tell you, it was 2-1 at that point. It could have been 2 each if it wasn't for Angus Gunn, by the way. That was a world-class save. Scotland break up the park. The guy goes to pat. I think they get the defenders, hits it back to the keeper, but it's going out for a goal for a corner, and the goalkeeper dives on it to stop it going out for a corner. But he's dived on it and palmed it straight to Lyndon Dykes, who fires it right into the roof of the net. Nice finish from a tight angle, actually, to be honest with you, because it was almost on the touchline. It was get out of jail, that one. I thought Greece were an outstanding team. I says that to you anyway. Greece were a great team. The last time they were at Hampden last year, it was 3-0 to Greece. So it tells you they're a good team, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds as though Stevie Clark's turned it round again, John. He was falling away and getting bad results again. Now we're at the qualifier for the World Cup. It's sitting at either top or very close to the top, 7 points out of a possible 9. He's turned it around again there, John. He is a decent manager. But what about the other 2 goals? I don't know who scored them, but I mean, we must have been doing okay if we managed to go 2-1 up in this game, John. It couldn't have been all bad.
It was all bad. It was Ryan Christie and Lewis Ferguson that scored the other 2 goals. But we were bad. The first half was just Greece dominating it. Scotland players looked like they had lead weights around their ankles. They were miles off the pace, and Greece totally dominating it. And the second half started the same way, by the way, for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then Greece scored, and Scotland seemed to just click into life. And I'd say Scotland more or less kind of dominated them after that. But Greece still had their chances. But the second half was totally different from the first. A totally different game. Like I says, Greece scored their goal and it sparked something into Scotland. It just sparked into life, and it was a totally different team.
There you go. So it's a good one anyway. That's a brilliant one against a very decent Greece team. Another couple of wins, and I think Scotland will almost be there, John, in the World Cup next year. So good luck to the Scots anyway. And our boys did play in this one, John. They were put on standby for this one. Kieran Tierney and Anthony Ralston both didn't start the game, but both came on and helped with that win, John. So from what I've heard anyway, I think Ralston especially, sort of assist on an assist, if you like, done well in the game to help Scotland get over the line. I didn't see it, of course, but how did the boys do, Ralston and Tierney?
They were all right. They played okay. They only had about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes up maximum. And saying that, there was 6 minutes added on at the end, or 7 minutes. So probably all in about 15-20 minutes on the park. I thought they did okay when they come on. Kieran Tierney, of course, good at holding the ball up and stuff, but they did okay. There's a few of the Scotland players that, I don't know, that what's that boy's Celtic? He ran away from Celtic. Ben Doak, is it?
Yeah.
I just don't see what the fuss. I just do not see what the fuss is in that boy. But what the fuss is all about, I really don't see it. Half decent wee player, but the way the commentary going about him like he's outstanding, I just don't see that at all, to be honest with you. Or Ben Gannon, Doak as he likes to be called, big gammon steak. I don't get the boy at all.
Yeah,
I don't get the hype. If anybody disagrees, let me know. If you think he's what the press make him out to be, like this outstanding world class talent, I just don't see that. Good player, but vastly overrated.
Yeah, there's a few in Scotland that are overhyped like that, and they're John, your Billy Gilmores of this world, you know. All decent players like you say, John, and they're doing a good job for Scotland, so we can only hope that continues, I suppose. So long gone are they days where, you know, you never qualified for anything. It was torture watching Scotland, you know. At least we're getting someplace now, I suppose. Right, John. So that was 3-1 anyway, and the big one tonight for the competition entries there. East Fife against Celtic. That's later on tonight. We'll talk about that on Monday. So good luck everybody with that one. Okay, the weekend predictor, John. There's no many games I can pick when there's no SPL top table fixtures. No games whatsoever. So we need to go lower leagues and sort of international, I'm afraid. And it's just stabbing the dark stuff here, John, right? But we'll start with Brownie Watch with Raith Rovers against Ayr United. And by the way, just to explain to everybody that's listening, this is John and I's competition between each other. John is way ahead. Was it 12-5, something like that, John? John's way ahead anyway in the predictor. We'll do it for the full season, see who wins come the end of the season. I won the first season, John won the second season. This is now our third season. and John is miles ahead. But we'll continue anyway, John. Raith Rovers against Ayr United. I'm just thinking, Bruni, John, I don't know where he is in the league just now, but he has picked it up a wee bit. Raith Rovers, always a tough place to go into it. They always give you a hard game there. But what do you think, John? Bruni on form just now?
Oh, I don't know. Who are they playing again?
Raith Rovers.
At home?
Away.
Raith Rovers away from home. I'll go for a Raith Rovers win here. I don't know why, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Raith Rovers.
2-1 for John. And I'm saying 2-1. They're away. Right?
All right, so going for it. Bruni.
I'm professional here, John. I've got a notepad now. I can actually go back and look through the notepad. How professional is that? Superb. Right.
Bruni's sitting 5th, by the way, and Raith Rovers are sitting 3rd. 3 points behind.
There you go. Yeah, so Raith Rovers should be favourites in that one. Okay. Maybe I should do a wee bit more homework, right, John? Okay, the rest are sort of a B team. Sort of a B teams for the SPL teams, if you know what I mean. Like Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs, Rangers, stab in the dark stuff, John. We don't know anything about them, we know, right? It's just stab in the dark, what you're thinking at this particular moment. And the first one is Dunbarton against Rangers B.
Oh, I don't know anything about these teams, Sander. I know the Rangers B team are quite a decent wee team, actually. Same as Celtic. They've got decent young players there,
Yeah.
Dumbarton. I've not beaten Dumbarton for years. I'm going to go for a Rangers B1 3-2.
Yeah, Challenge Cup games, all of these, by the way. 3-2 for John. And I will say, I think they'll get beat 2-1. The Rangers B. Moving on, East Kilbride against the Jam Tarts. All of these games are away, so it must be some sort of a rule that gives the lower league teams an advantage in the cup only, of course. Or it's just pure luck that every single SPL team is playing away from home. But it's East Kilbride against Hearts anyway, John.
We've seen Celtic playing East Kilbride Celtic first team a few years ago, didn't we?
Aye. It's East Kilbride, but actually gave Celtic first team a really decent game. But that goes for nothing, John. Obviously they're going to up their game for that, aren't they? But the Hearts B, don't know how good the Hearts B is. I'm not too sure. And do you know something, John? I didn't actually know that Aberdeen, Hibs and Hearts all had lower players, or B players, in the lower league. I didn't know that. I thought it was just Celtic and Rangers that had their teams in there. So there you go. There's something I didn't know. What do you think, John?
I'll just go 2-0 East Kilbride.
3-1 East Kilbride. Elgin against Aberdeen B.
If Aberdeen B are anything like their first team, I'll go for a Elgin win, Xander. I'm going to go 3-1 to Elgin.
3-1. And I'll say, I'll go the draw in 90 minutes. 1-1. Peterhead against the Highbees.
Right. You ever been to Elgin, by the way?
No.
That's nice place, Elgin. Been there a few times. Used to play gigs up there years ago, Elgin. It's right out the way, though, it's miles away. It's not much of a journey for Aberdeen, right enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's still quite a journey, maybe an hour from Aberdeen, something like that. Anyway, Peterhead against Hibs, was it?
Aye, Peterhead against the Highbees. Peterhead's a wee trek and on, but not quite far as Elgin. Aye, what do you think, John?
Peterhead's just it's near Aberdeen. I'll go for a Peterhead win. I don't know why. I don't know anything about these teams, by the way. I'm just, like he says, it's just a stab in the dark. I'll go for a Peterhead win. Peterhead to win 1-1, and then at full time, 90 minutes, 1-1. But Peterhead to win. But I'll go for a draw. I mean, 1-1.
1-1. Okie dokie, John. And I'm going to go for my first win for the B teams. I'm going to say a 1-0 win for Hibs. And that one. And the last one, John, of course, we'll have a wee quick word about this before we go. Scotland against Belarus. To check the goalposts before we kick off. That was funny. I thought that was hilarious reading that, John. But anyway, John, a great chance for Scotland to keep the good feel factor going against Belarus at Hampden on, I think it's Monday night. It's either Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure. Sunday is actually, isn't it? What are you thinking, John? Scotland against Belarus.
Belarus will need to be sly if they're going to change the goalposts at Hampden.
Break in during the night.
I don't know how they're going to manage that, but I watched the last game against Belarus. It was Scotland won it 2-0 last month.
Yeah. A wee idea, isn't it, how this one's going to go?
I'm going to say 4-0 Scotland's under.
I was going to say 4 myself, John. It's got 4-0.
Well, go for it. I'll give you a wee clue. Don't pick Belarus to score because they're absolute guff.
No, I wouldn't pick Belarus.
I tell you what, you could give Belarus a set of rugby goals and they still wouldn't score.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go 3 or 5, isn't I? So.
No, really, you can go 4 if you want, Xander. There's no law that says you have to take a different score for me. Go for it if you want. 4-0. I think 4 anyway. I could be right. It could be 7.
Yeah, could be 12. But I'm going to go to 3, John. 3-0. There you go. That's it. I've got them all noted in my diary. My new diary. Absolutely brilliant. Should have done that years ago. Right, John. That wraps it up for the day, I'm afraid. Got a couple of wee things to do tonight. So, any final words, John? Any sum up or anything? Stevie G, Balak Wishar, any wee sums ups for what we spoke about, John? Or are you just looking forward to the football starting again?
I've got nothing to say, really. I was just going to say with Belarus, no scoring. Well, anything's possible. You had, what do you call that team that never won a game? San Marino.
Yeah.
You had San Marino scoring in the first 15 seconds against England years ago.
Yeah, well, that's it.
So anybody can score a goal anytime. But as things stand, I don't see Belarus ever scoring against Scotland. But there you go. Anyway, summing it up, no, I've got nothing to say. And in regards to anything you mentioned, Slippy G or anything like that, if it's him that's the next Rangers manager, so be it. I don't really care, to be honest with you. More interested in Celtic. All I'm interested in is Celtic players getting through these international games unscathed, get home. We look forward to Dundee. That's all I can say, Xander. It's all about Celtic, innit? I don't really care about Scotland either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all about Celtic, John. Of course it is, and that's what we're here to talk about. All right, good luck to Dyson. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. And as you say there, John, nobody else picks up any niggling injuries on international duty. Right, John, we'll call it a day there. Thanks for coming on, buddy. I know, short and sweet today. It was only 45 minutes, if even that. We'll catch everybody on the Monday edition of the Celtic Forever podcast. Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Remember, folks, that's what it is from now on. 3 a week. And it's very tough to talk about stuff when there's no Celtic. But there is a few weeks. There's always something happening, John, isn't there? So we'll catch you on... By the way, thank you, everybody, for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, everything that you do for the channel. It's very much appreciated. Channels are quiet everywhere just now, by the way, Celtic channels. Not a lot happening. But we do appreciate it anyway. We'll catch you on Monday, John.
Catch you Monday, Xander. Hail, hail.
Hey, John, thanks for that. Hail, hail for now.